Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, the glory, and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Hayan Apash coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled, What is the Milk? Okay, what is the milk? And this is an important lesson that, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai put in my spirit to do, a few days ago, but the spirit is having me do it now. And, I was meditating on it, and, I was doing some studying, things of that nature. And, the milk is, the building block, foundational things you need to know in this truth. Right? The building block, foundational things you need to know in this truth. The things that is going to keep you in the truth and that's going to keep you firm. Okay?
So you heard the brother say it himself. This is it's one of the brothers in Montreal from Great Millstone. You could definitely subscribe to his video. If I'm saying it correctly, he said that the milk is the foundational block of what you need to know in this truth. Right, that's the milk. Okay, so before I start, I want to say Kol Halo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakwakodash. I want to give double honors and praises to the elders, the bishops, the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And I want to say Shalom to the brothers who have taken this truth far and wide to the four corners of the earth and are continuing to preach this truth. And I want to say shalom to the sisters who are listening and learning in silence. So to everybody I just mentioned, I want to say shalom. Currently on the treadmill. If you hear that in the background, I'll definitely try to make my voice a bit louder. Okay, so this is going to be like, I'm going to do reply, what is the milk? Okay, and he goes into it in the video, sort of. No, I don't want to say sort of. He goes into it in the video. He explains it, but now I'm going to go, basically, as you see here, this is a chat GPT, and I asked it a very simple question. I said, based on something along the lines of, based on what Great Millstone teaches, what is the difference between the milk and the meat? Right? The meat is something, as you age, even in life, but as you age in this truth, let's say in this truth and in life, as you age, you're weaned off the milk. You must watch his video, right? He goes into it, but at some point, right, he uses the analogy of you are weaned off the milk, and you're removed from the breast, okay? And when you've had all the milk that you can possibly have, now it's time to your spirit still needs to grow, it still needs to learn, right? So now you're onto the meat, right? So before you even get into the meat, I asked to differentiate for me. Give me 10 things you would think is milk. Give me 10 things you would think is milk, right? 10 milk, 10 meat. So here's the list it came up with. And Lord willing, I'll go through all of them. Not super quick, but I'll go through all of them in a way that we could talk about it. We can understand the general idea of what we should know, and then I guess personally, if I have further questions, I'm gonna look at brothers' videos, and I'll search up such and such GMS or such and such Hebrew Israelite. I'll find the truth during research, or you could even ask the chat, where can I learn about this in the Bible? And then I'll point you to different chapters, books, whatever. So that's what I'll be doing personally for you guys in the watching this. If I go over something and maybe you have questions, I'll try to my best of my ability to answer. But if I know something, I won't go too deep into it. If I feel it's worth getting into and explaining, then I'll do just that. Okay, so let's start with number one. And number one, as you can see here, is the identity of Israel. Right? Again, this is we're talking to somebody who still needs to drink the milk. Okay, so somebody who still needs to drink the milk, they might hear the word Israel and they may think of 1948ers, small hatters, fucking gay paraders, biggest LGBTQ event in the desert, fucking over there type people. They don't know that the Israelites that the Bible talks about is not the Israelis of the world. There's a difference between an Israelite, which is what is referenced in the Bible, which is what the whole Bible is geared towards, and then there are Israeli, right? Which is, see, now my head is instantly going to it. So let me just ask ChatGPT real quick. I want the scripture. What's the scripture that talks about the synagogue of... Can I finish? Okay. The phone can't finish the sentence. Let's see. Alright, because the Israeli is, they call themselves... What's going on with this damn app? What's the scripture that... So is it going to give me what I want? If not, then I'll just get my other phone and find it quick. This is actually my first time here. I'll go get my phone. Let me just start I think what I should have done is maybe started a new chat. Scripture that talks about the synagogue of Satan. And that is in Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. Okay, so what was I talking about? Yes, I was talking about the difference between an Israeli and an Israelite. Okay, so now I know brothers watching this. You're like, what? Why are we going? Because I know you brothers know. But let's talk about the milk to somebody who doesn't understand, right? The identity of Israel. Okay, Israel is not. See, Israel. And if you watch enough Great Millstone videos, you hear the brothers say Israel is a people before a place. Okay, who is Israel? The identity of Israel. Let's see who Israel is not first, okay? I'm gonna tell you who Israel is not first. Okay? So let's go to Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. It reads, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. And then in He says, "But thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan." Okay, so, and this is in Revelation, so really, in these times now, you have to understand that there are people who say they're Jews and they are not, right? Now, how can you tell you're an Israelite? See, I'm prefacing this because I see Book of Deuteronomy, and I'm guessing it's going to talk about the curses. Okay, Book of Deuteronomy. This is let's just take a look first, right? Let's take a look to see if I'm correct. So this is 28 verse 15. No, yeah, chapter 28, and then verse 15 and on. Okay, this is the consequences of disobedience. Okay, this is the header. So basically, from 58 to 60, from 15 to, is it 58 or 68? It talks about the curses that would come onto the Israelites if they disobeyed the law. Okay? Now, I'm gonna, and I just want to say too, as far as the milk, there are definitely some books of the Bible that you should, really when you read the Bible, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, but there are some I would recommend personally to sit down and read it fully. And you know what? That might be a video that I do, just straightforward reading like certain sections of the Bible, because I think it's important. I'm just gonna be honest, man. Jake, okay? We don't read. We don't like to read, okay? This Bible is probably one of maybe 5 books I've read in the last 5 years, okay? I don't care to, right? Although that's really not a good thing, okay? Because, reading is good, right? And, apart from reading, like, manuals for work or for school, whatever, like, that doesn't really count as reading. That's like studying. But reading for the love of it, like, I don't read action books. I play action games, But the Bible is something, and and honestly, I feel like it's more effective if you read it versus you get an audio book. But anyways, I'm going off topic. Okay, I don't want to be off topic. The identity of Israel. I'm gonna do bullet form. Okay, I'm not gonna read them fully. I'm gonna do bullet form of the things that would happen if the Israelites broke the curses. Then you're gonna tell me who this sounds like. Okay, look at verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Okay, look at 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep. I'm gonna just look for some more. When you have time, that 15 to, what did they say, 58, you should read it all, right? You should really read it all. And understand for yourself the curses that the Israelites are currently under, okay? And you'll find out who the Israelites are and who they definitely aren't, because there's a group of people that are going through these things, and there's a group of people who are they're receiving like millions of dollars the day they turn 18, as if they're, let me not say that, but they receive money the moment they get of age, and the whole world takes care of them and sends them money and sends them. Okay, anyways, that's I'm sidetracking. Let's see. I want to get some good ones. Okay, I want to get. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee. The Lord shall smite thee with consumption and fever. It shall be me, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment. Thou shalt be thrust away from the other. Oh man. Let's read 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. That's a big one. Thou and you know, my phone screen just lit up as I read that, okay? So I'm going to tell you exactly what I was thinking when I read that, okay? So I'll continue. And it reads, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof, okay? So let's analyze 30, okay? And we could really go deep into this, but I'll go deep a little bit, but I won't go... I won't stick on this topic. We're already 60 minutes into the video. I'm not even done number 1. So this might be a 2-parter, man. I don't even want to do this. I don't want to do an hour-long video. I'd rather just do multiple, decent-sized videos, right? But look at, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Okay, so what? So you tell me, person who's listening, what group, what quote unquote culture promotes fucking a nigga's bitch? I'm gonna take your bitch, fuck nigga, or your bitch is took, Who talks like that? Who promotes adultery in their songs, right? And then so that's the guys. Then the girls. I don't even want to say it, but fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. I'm sure the girls, these female rappers, they said bars like, "I'ma take your nigga too." "I'ma steal your nigga, make him lick my coochie," shit like that, right? Just wickedness. Right? Is it? Let me just be blunt. Is it fucking Jewish people who make music like that? Right? Is it Jewish people that thou shalt betroth a wife and another man shall lie with her, like it's a fucking, like it's a game? Whose bitch can I fuck? That's how you fucking niggards in America. That's the low vibrational activity that partakes in America, okay? And who made that popular? Who's doing it till this day, right? I'm not gonna tell you. You should know. I'm gonna tell you at the end, but think, okay? Look at, thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Here we go. So obviously you know about slavery, right? This slavery of a thing. Who, they say, they built America, but who's in the White House? They say all the inventions, all the buildings, all the the cotton, the cotton that the Negroes were picking. Where's that money now, right? Whose pockets is it now? All right. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. The Negroes, or basically the Israelites, built up this place where they are now, and they don't own it. You don't have rights, right? I mean, they say you have rights, but what's going on? This thing is slow. Hold on, let me pause the video. Let me, what's it called? Let me pause the video, and then I'm gonna raise the thing. Give me 1 second. Salaki, I'm back. Right, but back to what I was saying. Let me just try to wrap it up. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Okay. You could take that as, who built this land you're on, and the land I'm talking about, right? Which is Babylon, which is actually another point, which we probably won't get to in this video. Okay, America is Babylon. We'll probably stop at 5 or somewhere, you know, so that I can maybe make a part 2. Maybe that's what I should do. But, you know, so they say the slaves built up America, but those people that were slaves, where are they now, right? And that's another thing. Okay, well, I'm probably gonna find it here, right? That thou shalt dwell in the ghettos, right? But hold on. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hands. So let me just say this. Let me just say it in like a vulgar way so you get the effect, right? Let's go back to slavery, right? So now you come into this land, and you know your son and daughter maybe are of age. They're not like children anymore. Maybe your son, you know, resembles his father strong, can work in the field. So now he's bought by another slave master who lives two states away, and you never see him. How would you feel? Who does that sound like? Did that happen to the Small Hatters? Did that happen to the 1948ers? Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. There's nothing you could have done when your daughter was sold to that overweight, nasty, freak-looking Edomite with an eye missing, who keeps fucking scratching at his yeah, I'm trying to paint a picture of how fucking gruesome and disgusting and tragic this was, okay? This didn't happen to 1948ers. Don't fool yourself, okay? But let's do another one. Let's just find one more within this 15 to, I think it's 58. For thy land, Lord shall smite thee in the knees. See, listen, this 35, verse 35 here, this one's personal to me. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot onto the top of thy head. Salakia, somebody was calling my name. That 35, basically like, smite thee in the knees and in the legs. Not me personally, right? But the men in my, let me say just what it is, right? My father and my two younger brothers, they all have weird shit going on with their legs. Like my dad, I think it's sciatica, My middle brother, who is not a believer, I think he might have broken it during football. And then something else with my youngest brother. So I don't know. I personally, you can take this one literal, like with a sore botch that cannot be healed. That sciatica, whatever. I do believe that's what that is, right? That pain, it's your nerves, man. Where do your nerves eventually go up to? All right, all the way from the top of your head to your toes. But apparently, that pain, it's some serious. Here goes 36, okay? The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. This is a big one. And I'd say digging deep into this one would be considered meat instead of milk, okay? But I'll just say it to you once for now, because I know when I heard it, that got me super intrigued to learn more and understand it more. But basically, the wood is like people who worship the cross, like pretty much Christianity, right? We believe in the Bible, but we're not like Christians like the world is Christians, right? Like to where they wear a cross. Like the way I've heard it described, and the way you can think of it is, imagine, let's say your brother was shot with an AK-47. He died by an AK-47. Would you wear a necklace of an AK-47 around your neck? Would you kiss an AK-47 necklace daily, or proudly short around, right? Or ice it out, put diamonds on it? Would you do that? No, you wouldn't, okay? So, people wearing the cross, and worshiping it like an image, come on, right? That's the other gods. The stone is you fucking, honestly, it's such an ugly look. You black, so-called black people, dark-skinned people that are Muslim, such an ugly look. You run around that fucking black cube stone. That's the stone, right? That black stone where they say Satan is trapped. These fucking Muslims, man. And you retarded, and it's these retarded fucking rappers from Chicago who made it popular to be a Muslim. But it's okay, because Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai has a special judgment for those people. He has some cooking for them unless they repent. So there's that on 36. There's so many good ones. I want to read more good ones to you guys here. There has to be the one I'm looking for. This one's sad, man. Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Let's talk about it, bro. If you're new to this thing, I want you to listen. If you're new to this and this is the first video you watch, I'm really PG compared to and I cuss, right? But I'm really PG as far as giving it to you raw, unfiltered, unsweetened, because the things brothers will say about the so-called black woman, which they're not wrong, okay? But before you hear them say it, look for yourself, right? Look for yourself and try to explain to yourself why there would be a video about a black woman saying that it's time to abort black boys specifically. Look for a video. It was a cut from Twitter, like where they do live talking. A whole bunch of black women requesting white men to kill black men for them. Black women wanting black men killed by white men, so to speak, right? You see this? Now let's read it again, okay? The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground. For delicateness and tenderness, that means a woman who is so loving, so tender, so delicate, which she is, but for right now, she's, unfortunately, a lot of them are 2/3, right? So a lot of them are under the curses. We're all under the curses, but some of us, we know we're under the curse and we do better. Some are under the curse and they don't even know and are just going along with it, right? Going along with their day. But that woman who would not even put her foot on the ground because she's precious, right? That same woman, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, that means her husband, and her children, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Let's talk about. So I told you about how they want to abort black boys. You know, black women want to abort black boys specifically. There goes the son. I told you about black women requesting white men on Twitter live to start killing off black men. There's the husband. Toward the daughter now. In a generation where, this is a two-parter, right? So I'll say this first. In a generation where, you know, majority of so-called black, I don't know if it's majority, but a big chunk, a big portion of so-called black children are being raised by single parents, specifically single mothers. And there are more girls than boys, so a lot of girls being raised by single mothers. What do they end up to be? What's your personal experience? Right? What's your personal experience? I'm not even going to speak for you, okay? I think you know. I think you know how horribly single mothers are raising their daughters, right? I mean, I can go on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, and who's shaking their ass for the world to see, right? Dressing not modestly, who's catching all types of diseases, who's having multiple fathers of multiple children, who's put away this baby shower thing and doing the baby daddy reveal. That's fucking wicked. You know, if that's a real story, fuck, we're fucked. I mean, we've been fucked, right? But you know, I kind of hope, and I like to imagine that was like a CIA thing, just for the people to just hate niggers more, basically, right? But man, if that's real, how embarrassing. And no shame, right? No shame. A black woman had a party to find out who's the father of her child, and that's fucked up. And the two men went along with it, man. Fucking simps. They should just drink bleach. Genuinely. I'd rather kill myself than ever be involved in something like this. So embarrassing. There goes 56. 57, Lord willing, is what's coming here in Babylon. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, meaning the one that she gave birth to, and toward her children which she shall bear, right, the children she bears, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. The main point that I wanted to get in that is, obviously, famine's coming, right? You don't know that? You don't know that, newcomer? If you don't know that famine is coming, I'm sure you heard about in the news the Strait of Hormuz, right? And how that's disrupting shipping. I'm sure you heard about, like, maybe America has only like so few weeks before they run out of oil. No oil means no big trucks to restock your grocery stores. Do you know that? So when famine hits, it says the woman who gave birth to the young one, right? Maybe the baby is young enough to where they can't, what's it called? Hold on, I'm distracted. I feel like something's behind me. But the young ones to where they don't know their first words. These women are gonna get so hungry, they're gonna eat their own children. Imagine. Could you imagine that? Let's talk about it. 58, I think is where it ends. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest... I fell. I fell off the treadmill because I was emoting with my hands. That thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Then he just stacks it on. This is Yahweh, right? He's saying, moreover, he will bring unto thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Man, look at Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai just stacking the judgments. Basically, who's going through this now, though? Like, genuinely, like, as I'm telling you this, who's going through this? Is it the small hatters, bro? Is it the 1948ers? Or, are they living good where they're at? They don't have to worry about fucking food stamps. There's another one, I couldn't find it here, where it says, thou shalt go to thou enemy for all things, for all wants, like your food, your water. Do so-called black natives, Latinos, do they have their own food production where they can feed themselves and pay themselves? No. Do they have a company or a brand where they can clothe themselves? No. Do they have a fucking well, or do they have access to a body of water where they can quench their thirst and not have to pay for fucking water in a plastic bottle that you shouldn't even be drinking water in a plastic bottle because of all the, what's it called? Give me 1 second. What is it called? It's like phytoestrogen or something estrogen, right? That comes out of the plastic. All these fucking chemicals, all these hormones being leaked through the plastic right? Do you, I'm talking to you Israelites, right? Do you Israelites who don't know you're Israelites, right? So we're talking to the people who still need to drink the milk. Do you have your own? Do you have your own anything? Do you even have a bucket to piss in that you didn't have to buy from the fucking devil? You don't even have a bucket to piss in that you made yourself. You have to buy the bucket from the devil. We don't have nothing here. You have nothing here. Okay? But you are everything. Right? Through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, of course. Not through your own works, not through your GED, not through your graduation, not through your college degree, diploma. No, because who gave you that college degree and diploma? Was not the same rank devil that like probably went to school with Epstein or probably went to, you know? Esau gave you all these things, man. And then now, okay, so now you want to make money. Who's gonna hire you? Is it not fucking Esau? Even if you have your own business, congrats for having your own business, sir or ma'am. But who the fuck are you paying taxes to? Who's taking fucking, is it like 30% anymore? I just found out. I think I'm paying 30% on taxes. It's fucking disgusting. Or something around that. I don't know exactly how much, but I just saw the tax chart, like the tax bracket thing in Canada. Fuck, man, they take a lot. Right? So you're working, you're slaving, and then you give it back. You give the devil his cut, right? You own nothing here, right? You're under the curses. There's number one. Fuck, man, that was only one link. Okay, let's do Book of Isaiah 11:11. Let's see what it has to say. How many? Oh, fuck, 42 minutes. All right, let's go Isaiah. Isaiah. Where's Isaiah? It's 11:11. And it shall come to pass. This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. It reads, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea." This one, personally, I would say this is, to me, it's maybe I'd consider it meat, but I'll explain to you at least from what I know, okay? The first two that are mentioned there, Assyria and Egypt. Israelites in general have been, you know that story with Moses, okay? They were free from Egypt. What I can say about Syria is I know that the northern kingdom specifically was taken captive from Syria, and then eventually, you know, they were freed from that. And then what I'll say as far as Cush, that's a Hamitic nation, meaning, you know, they look dark skinned like us, but they're not Negroes, they're not one of us, right? They're Hamites, whereas you would be a Shemite or a Semite. So it's very similar skin color, but two different people. Don't get it confused, right? Like, no, I'm not gonna give that. Okay, I'm just gonna say it because I hate when someone says, "Oh, I'm not gonna say it." So I'm just gonna say it, but don't take this literal. But if you remember that movie, I don't know what movie it is. It's like, I am the captain now. You see that African, that Somali-looking guy, right? That would be like a Hamite of. That would be a Hamite of whichever tribe he's from. Whereas, you know, you look at who's a fan? Look at you. Then you look at LeBron, right? Obviously, LeBron is a Semite, right? But I mean, if you're near Africans, right, just look at them. Not to say it like that, right? But and also, I want to say that, you know, our people, like as you read it here, okay, we were taken captive by Africans, right? So some of us are still in Africa. Some of us, or a lot of us, well, a few of us, not a few, a decent amount of us are still in Western Africa. Alright? So don't think you could just fucking hate on her. You know, you shouldn't be, don't toss hate to nobody, right? But definitely don't think you see a brother who you know, has a Nigerian accent or something, or a Ghanaian accent, and just immediately write them off for a Hamite. No. Now, some of them are, but hey, some of them could be Israel. You never know, right? Same goes for any Asian people, right? Because now it mentions Elam, right? Elam is Indian, right? And Indians here in Canada, they get hate. And, you know, a lot of them are Elamites, right? They're heathens. But, hey, some of them are Israelites. Okay? So don't immediately just fucking hate on somebody because their skin color. You're no better than a fucking KKK. And that's actually really retarded to just hate based on skin color. It's not smart. You can hate based on their lineage, right? Their patrilineage, like what tribe they're, what they are, right? That's smart. And I do that, personally. No shame in my game, right? I call myself, quote-unquote, racist, but I don't look at somebody's skin color, right? I look at, first of all, their actions, you know. Then I can go deep, like where they're from. And if I have a suspicion that they're a heathen, yeah, I don't care, right? No shame in my game. As far as that, as far as being quote unquote racist, but you don't judge based on skin color, right? And you know, you hang around in this truth long enough, you know, you see brothers talking about Bob Marley. Bob Marley, a dark-skinned man, but apparently his great grandfather was an Edomite, and then his father was an Edomite, making him an Edomite, right, through the bloodline. And then obviously there's some white people who look white, but really their forefathers were Negroes or Israelites, right? So don't be fooled by this whole skin color thing, and don't take it to the extreme like some other fucking retards they're like black only, right? Quote unquote black only Israelites. Don't do that either. Okay? So I read to you 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left, meaning they should be released. Let's find out if I'm right. Shall be left, meaning remain, to be left over, to be left behind, left alive, to be left over, be left alive, survive, remainder, remnant, to leave over, spare, to leave or keep over, to have left, to leave as a gift. Basically, the people who have been... Okay, let me just read it in quote-unquote English. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left, meaning which shall be freed, let go from Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So I just named a lot of names. Don't worry about it now, okay? Basically, these Israelites, they have been enslaved by many nations, and they're all over the world. So when I went on that spiel about there might be a white person who looks white, but they're actually an Israelite. There might be a black person who looks like an Israelite, but he's actually an Edomite. That's the milk, man. Don't look into color. Let's leave it on that, man. That's a good... So sorry for ranting, right? But we can leave it on. As far as the identity, it's not a fucking black Hebrew Israelite. It's Hebrew Israelite. And the Hebrew Israelites are scattered everywhere. They look like all colors, all body fat percentages, all different hair lengths, hair textures, hair colors. Yes, there's even some Israelites, right? There might be one or two or a few, whatever, that even speak that language. You know, I'm fucking trolling you now, but I'm serious, right? And they don't know they're Israelites, right? They're living amongst the heathen. The same way there might be an Irish, and I'm an Irish mate, then he's fucking drinking every day, fucking his life, right? But he doesn't, and he looks like he has white skin, but he doesn't know he's an Israelite, right? Or, you know, there might be a fucking Indian right now who's he's hungry, he wants to go to the fucking the street food, and he's eating that fucking slop. I'm making fun now, right? But you may think he's Indian, but he's actually an Israelite, right? You don't know who is, but you know who isn't, right? Because there's many of us. You know who is and you know who isn't, okay? Basically, in Book of Deuteronomy, you saw it. We were cursed. Book of Isaiah, you saw it. We would have been taken as captives. We were slavery all over, right? And that was reinforced in Deuteronomy as well. So now let's look at Baruch. I'll just do 3, man. Yo, this should be a 2, 3, 4 part series. I think I'm gonna stop after I read Baruch, and I'll do Jeremiah. Then I'll go back and I can do this, and maybe this in a part 2 or something. But let's go look for Baruch now. I want to say Thawadah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, but this is content, you know? Content I can put up to feed the sheep, Lord willing. Baruch. Do I even have Baruch? Let me just see something. Okay, hold on. Let me do something here. Baruch chapter 4, verse 6 to 8. Oh wow. It's in the Apocrypha, and it's actually a damn shame that I do not have it for you brothers here. I should. Hold on. Well, give me 1 second. See, I got some bullshit fucking apocalypse, but I don't have the Apocrypha, man. Salakia. That's not good. Fuck. I try. I think I. Oh, I do. I might. There it is. I do. Slovakia. Four. Oh, this shit fucking happens. That's why I don't like it. 4-6. Fuck. Okay. So, man, just who is this talking about, right? This is the identity of Israel, right? So, read this, what I'm about to tell you. Ye were sold, so this is Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God. Ye have forgotten the everlasting God that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. Man. Ye were sold to the nations. Who is that talking about? Were the small hats ever sold onto the nations? I don't have to tell you this, man. Because Lord willing, somebody can hear this and they'll say, damn, that's literally us. And the retard that says, well, technically, well, I won't call him a retard, but the doubter that, you know, has a problem with what I'm saying, that, you know, the 1948ers are not the people. Good luck to you, man. In fact, I like it. I like it like that because it just means, and there's supposed to be less of us anyways, right? There's not supposed to be many people who know the truth. I'm really not even making this video for somebody who doesn't believe. I'm only making this video for the believers. You know, I'm making this video for somebody who will hear this and see this hour-long video and be like, damn, so we really are the Israelites. Like, bro, this man he went into Deuteronomy, Isaiah, Baruch. Now we're gonna go into Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah and then we'll cut it. This will be part 1. This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. This is a beautiful one. I can explain this. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage. So hopefully I'm talking to... It really doesn't matter, right? But it's easier... Excuse me. It's easier when I'm talking to a so-called black man, right? But this applies, obviously, to you so-called Latinos and also you so-called Native Americans, right? But look what I just called you. I just called the black guy black. I called buddy Latino, Native American. What else can I call you? I can call you Hispanic. What else can I call the black guy? I can call him African American, Native American. I could do Aboriginal, right? Let's stick to black now. What were they before, right? There's a time they were, black is the newest one, right? Black is what we are now. When you do your taxes or when you sign up or something for like a program, they'll say, are you white, black, Asian? All right, you got to put black, right? All right, but what was it before black? Maybe you could say African American. Oh, okay. So you're what? Africa, which is I guess a continent, the continent of Africa. Or did I hear some people say it's a country, but I don't know, right? I think it says it's a continent, right? But so you're African and American, so you're a continent and a country. Okay. So maybe it's not African American, maybe it's you're Afro. So what are you, a fucking hairstyle? Okay, so what was it before Afro? You're a Negro. Or a nigger. Right? Is that what you are? You tell me. Right? Before then you were a slave. You're just number 132. Or the strong one with the big afro. You know? You don't know who the fuck you are. You don't know what you are. Right? If I'm really truly speaking to a beginner right now, you probably don't even know. If you don't know you're an Israelite, you don't even know what the fuck you are. You're just going off of what the devil named you. Right? And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Here you are. You got to be a good citizen of America. So what do you have to do? You have to get a job. When you get a job, you have to pay your taxes, right? That tax, your tax dollar now, here in Calgary, I'll say, they're taking that same tax dollar that you have a sweat on your eyebrows, and maybe you bumped your hand on something that's bleeding, right? Your blood, your sweat, blood, and tears. That same money that they're going to put into the taxes, they're giving it to trannies to read books to your children, Jake. Does that make you feel good? And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Right? Meaning, why does it say thou knowest not? Well, maybe it's because, specifically for you southern tribes, right? Meaning you dark-skinned tribes, you dark-skinned, quote-unquote, Israelites. Some of you were here through Reuben, right? And obviously there are some, maybe like the northern tribe as a whole went there, but then there might be some southerners who married in, who came along, whatever, right? So the northern tribe, they were here, right? The Native Americans, so-called. And the Latinos, they were all over. They occupied this land, right? But specifically to southern tribes, how did you get here? Did you fly here? Did you take a cruise ship here? Wink, wink. Or were you stuffed? However many millions, I don't even know. It's so bad, that history. However many thousands plus people underneath the ship, crammed up with each other, shitting, pissing, vomiting, spitting, right next to each other, being sick right next to each other, taken off the ship and then sold as slaves. That's how you served your master. How did you get here, Jake? How did you get here, black man? Or are you, African American, or Afro man, or Negro, or nigger? What do you want to be called? You don't even know. All right? And if that triggered an emotional something within you, that's good. Let me direct you to where to go now, okay? You search up 12 tribes of Israel, Great Millstone, or 12 tribes of Israel, GMS. Take a look at that tribe. If you see the English name of where you are, most likely that's what you are in the Hebrew, okay? You're welcome. Now you know who you are, right? You're not a African American. You're not a Negro. You're not a slave, right? You Mexicans, you're not a spick. You're not a wetback. Huh? You thought I left the northern tribe? Let's get into it for the northern tribe. You know, I'm already an hour in. Let me not do too much, but you know, let's get racist. Let's say it like that, right? You Native Americans, right? What do they call you? Hey man, this is a Canadian classic. If you never heard this one, they call Native Americans prairie niggers. That's a different type of hate that these so-called white people have, man. That's just a crazy name to call somebody. You know, that's just a crazy fucking combo. Prairie nigger. If you never heard that, you're not a prairie nigger. You're not a spear chucker. I don't know if they call that. I don't know if they call that you Native Americans or the African. I don't know. Right? Oh, another thing, right? You so-called black people, you're not fucking African either, right? You're not African American. You're not American. You're not African. You'd be an Israelite, and you can find out your tribe. Okay? Same for you northern tribe, you so-called Latinos, right? You're not these bywords that they call you. And you're not where you're from either. Okay? Because an Asian person who comes from China, right? They're Asian that they are, even though they're born in Canada. You can say they're Canadian, but what are they really? They can tell you, I'm Chinese and I'm from the Li Wang I don't know what the fuck, you know? Your district. They'll tell you exactly where they're from. You can't do that. You don't even fucking know. And you Native Americans, you're not your tribe either. You're not a Blackfoot, Siksika. All of you together, you're all one under God, under Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Right? From the tribe of Gad. G-A-D specifically, right? You search that up, you Native Americans. But you also search up 12 tribes of Israel, okay? The identity of Israel. How can you be in this thing you don't know who you are? How can you believe in Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, right? So I'll just use the word God. How can you believe in God? You don't even know who God is for, right? And if you're foolish enough to think that God is for the Israeli, you got something coming for you, man. Now you know, okay? I hope you know, man. Lord willing, this is edifying, you know? I hope you could hear my voice clearly through. Obviously, I'm on this damn treadmill for... Oh, shit. It's been some time, but that's okay. The identity of Israel, man. This is a part 1. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I could do part 2. Maybe up to here. Then we'll do part 3. Ooh, there's a lot of scriptures to go through. And some of them are... You know, they're all important, man. This is the milk. This is the milk, man. Okay? And this is a part 1. Don't wait for my part 2. Okay? If you somehow end up watching this, don't wait for my part 2, 3, 4. Go out and consume as much knowledge as you can while Yahweh Shai may be found, while God and the man who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right? While they may still be found, okay? Because there's coming a time where you're not going to be able to find this, all right? And honestly, since we're talking about America, man, you people in America, yeah, your life is shit, and there's shootings every day, and there's crack smokers in your neighborhood. It's bad, yeah, but you're blessed too, in the sense that there's lots of profits in America. Okay, so if you watch this, search up your city or your state, whatever, and then search GMS right next to it, right? And learn from those brothers. Do yourself that favor while it's still available to you. Okay? So, man, 1 hour and 10 minutes for one part, man. I don't know how I do it. I don't know if I talk too much or if it's okay. I do need somebody to just audit. But me personally, I think I said what I need to say. We laughed a little bit, it's educational, but it doesn't mean I can't laugh a little bit. It's serious when it's serious, but at the same time, sometimes you need to cut the seriousness with a bit of laughter, or else it's too bitter, or else it's like, fuck, man, like, this shit is desperately bad. That's how you'll feel, right? And eventually, you get to knowing, you get to knowing more and more about this truth, and you'll find out that, hey, it's really not. Especially if you're an Israelite and you do what you're supposed to as an Israelite, right? Men are supposed to do something, women are supposed to do something, right? Well, eventually you'll figure out what that is. As long as you do what you're supposed to do, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai will look out for you, right? As long as you are the one within that 144,000 and the 1/3, right? The 1/3 of Israel, you will be saved. Okay? And jeez, I wanted to say faith, okay, but I'm sure faith is somewhere here. See? Faith during affliction. You see, you're fucked up now, right? I know you're fucked up now. I know you're doing bad now. But you must have faith during affliction while you're being, whether it's at work, or whether it's with your health, or whether it's your children who are misbehaving, or whether it's your wife who fucking left you and cheated on you. While you're going through hell, you still must remain faithful to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Don't do anything that Yahweh Shai wouldn't do. How about that? Let's leave it like that, okay? Let's leave it. I'm not going to get into this yet. That'll be a damn... Should I do a 10-part series? I don't think I could do an hour. Maybe I'll do part 2 for each of these. So I'll do, this is what I'll name it. I'll do reply. Go watch this video, man. Okay? Go watch this video. By GMS, contrition is key. Ga 3163. Okay, go watch this video and really watch all his videos. Great videos, brother from Montreal. So I'll name this reply, like RE. What is the milk? Question mark. And then I'll do part 1 in parentheses. I'll do the identity of Israel. Part 2, the name Yahweh, blah blah blah. I'll go on and so forth. Okay. Lord willing, man. Lord willing, I do that. It's not by my own hands. I'll do it if I have the spirit to do it. If Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai gives me the spirit to continue this, I certainly will, and I want to. Now, as I'm speaking, I want to, but we'll save the next for part 2 and so forth. So with that, I want to say Call Hala Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Thawadah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai for giving me the spirit to do this, the strength to do this on the treadmill throughout. I don't think I was really out of breath too much, which is nice. But I'm also going, what is this? Pace. It's 2.4, whatever that means. So maybe it's like 2.4 kilometers an hour or something. It's really slow, just like not even a brisk walk, right? It's very low for 77 minutes, however the fuck long that is. That's cool, that's okay. I pretty much the duration of this video, which is nice. right? So I was able to do that. That's my first time doing that walk and talk. Brothers do that. Brothers do that a lot. So shit, you know, I just wanted to do what they do, man, you know. So I can even name this walk and talk something something something. But either way, I gave you the title of the vid. So Thawadah Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. I want to give double honors and praises to the elders, the bishops, the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And I want to say shalom to the brothers who take this same truth, preach it worldwide. And I want to say shalom to the few sincere sisters who are listening and learning in silence. So to everybody I just mentioned, I want to say shalom. Thank you for listening. On to the next.